Happy Tuesday. Time for Tidbit Tuesdays. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the types of calls I've been getting lately. So I'm getting people that are leaving their jobs to do their own thing, become self-employed, people who are being laid off from jobs, people who just don't know what their options are if they do not have employer health care. So it's a strange world if that's all you're used to is employer health care, but there are options for you. So first and foremost, anyone can enroll in marketplace coverage. So marketplace coverage takes pre-existing conditions. We kind of search through and see who your doctors are, what plans they take, if you take medications, which plans cover which medications. Of course, most jobs you can do COBRA, which people will tend not to do because now the employer is no longer paying part of your premium, so you're responsible for the whole amount, which can be very pricey. A lot of employers have PPO plans, which are not available in the marketplace. But if you're used to a PPO plan and need a PPO plan, I'll talk about that option in a minute, but sometimes it makes sense to stick with COBRA depending on where you are with your deductible for that year, how healthy you are, etc., etc. So that's a fact-finding call that we do to determine, does COBRA make sense for you right now? And you can cancel COBRA. You can always cancel COBRA during open enrollment. But since we're almost mid-year, sometimes it does make sense if you're met your deductible and you have a lot of needs to stay on your COBRA. We do the math and see what makes sense. So employer plans tend to be either HMO or PPOs. Marketplace plans are HMOs or EPOs. So EPOs are network only, but you don't need referrals. So that's super important that you don't need referrals. The other options are there are some individual PPO plans that basically you join a group, and as a joining the group, there are some qualifying questions that you have to answer to join the group. So they are health related. If you're relatively healthy, it's not going to be a problem to be on these plans, but they are PPO plans. And if you want a PPO plan, this may be a better option than COBRA. It could be cheaper, but again, we're going to do the math. And then again, we have several networks to choose from, which is nice because we can see which networks your doctor takes and see, again, depending on your health, what makes the most sense. And then there's also some indemnity or limited benefit plans. So those plans too do have some health questions, but they can be very affordable if you're not a very high user of healthcare. If you're a very healthy person, rarely go to the doctor because it does have some limitations on the coverages, like so many doctor visits, X amount for certain procedures, all those kinds of things. But if you're a healthy person and really want to save a ton of money on insurance, that's certainly one option to choose from. So on the first call, I ask you all the questions, how you use your health care, what you're paying now, what you're used to, who are your doctors, what are your medications. This way, I can send you some quotes depending on our conversation. We'll send you some quotes based on the plans I think are the best fit for you and or your family. And then I review all those with you on the next call. I make sure that you understand if you're not getting a major medical plan, what your coverages are. I feel like that's super important because there's a lot of people out there that get these limited benefit plans and don't realize that's what they're getting because the agent didn't explain that to them. No one reads all the fine print on, yes, you signed an application and it had all that information on the application, what your coverage was and all of that, but that's Greek to most people. And that's why you use an agent to help explain it to you. So understanding what the benefits are, what you're paying for and what versus what you're getting is really important. And I try to educate all my clients on whichever plan we pick, pluses and minuses of each plan, and knowing what to expect with each plan, because that eliminates frustration later, surprises later, um, all those things. So, if you're in a situation where you're going to lose your coverage due to a job change, no matter why you're no longer going to have that job, I can certainly help you navigate that. So, until next week, peace out.